From the mountain tops to the prairies wide, we carved our dreams where the wild winds ride. With pick and shovel we staked our claim. Through fire and rain we bore no shame. The red dirt stained our boots and skin, but it built the place we all live in. Oh, red dirt nation, rise and stand from the treasures deep in the soil's hand. A family of brothers hand in hand. This is our home. This is our land. The river sang as we toiled away. Their whispers kept the fears at bay. Fields of gold from the seeds we sowed, a testament to the lives we hold. Though the wind may howl, the earth may quake, but roots run deep with every stake. The blood, the sweat, the laughter too. This red dirt binds me and you. Oh, red dirt nation, rise and stand from the treasures deep in the soil's hand. A family of brothers hand in hand. This is our home. This is our land.
Hey, everybody.
How's it going, everyone? Oh, we were getting a little flack from Travis because we were late, but we were getting everything figured out behind the scenes for you. So Vernon is hanging out in the back. Vernon Adkison's a veteran gold miner, reality TV personality, best known for his role on Discovery's channel, Bering Sea Gold, where he's featured as the owner and captain of the Wild Ranger, a 65-foot twin-engine catamaran designed for dredging gold from the Bering Sea floor. He also was telling us they're getting ready to go ice mining again. So he is hanging out in the back. Without any further ado, here is Vernon. There he be.
Hey.
Welcome, Vernon.
Greetings, all you gold miners out there, rejoicing at $5,000 an ounce.
It is it dropped all the way back to 5,000. Isn't that terrible?
Boy, basically, I wish you had lots of extra gold to sell.
Yeah. Well, I got to pat myself on the back because about this time last year, when it was around 27 or so, I predicted it would hit 5,000 by the end of the year. Well, I was wrong. It was a couple of weeks into January before it topped 5, and then promptly went on up to within sniffing distance of 56, and then it dropped down some. And then everybody was saying, well, why aren't you posting when it drops down? Well, it never did even drop down to what it had been a month previous to that. And now it's back up over 5,000. If there is a floor, which I don't think there is, I think it's constantly going to be moving up. The underlying trend is up, up, up. And there's just no way on God's green earth that it's going to go down for very long. I mean, it's just everything's stacked against that eventuality. Just today, I saw that China's actively trying to displace us with their yuan as the world's reserve currency. Well, I don't think they'll do that, but they're going to try. And the dollar's losing its place as the world's reserve currency steadily ever since idiot Biden weaponized it against Russia. That was probably the final nail in the coffin when they kicked Russia out of the SWIFT system and froze their assets. Then all these other countries were thinking, well, here we are, we're holding U.S. dollars, U.S. treasuries. What if America gets mad at us? They'll do the same thing to us. So they don't want to hold American dollars, U.S. dollars, like they did before. They were uneasy about it before, but now they're a lot of them are actively trying to bail out. A lot of different countries and central banks are trying to bail out of the U.S. dollars, and then also at the same time that the very day we withdrew from Afghanistan under idiot Biden yet once again. The Saudis signed a protective agreement with China. Before we had a deal with them, we would provide them with protection. In exchange for that, they would require U.S. dollars to buy their oil. And that was the genesis of the petrodollar. Well, that all went out the window when we pulled out of Afghanistan. And the Saudis didn't trust us to provide protection anymore. So that was another lick against the dollar in its place as the world's reserve currency. And so I don't have much faith that we'll hang on to that position for very much longer. And I don't know of any other currency out there that is strong. As screwed up as our currency is with all its inflation, this debasement, you name it. It's still better than most other currencies out there, better than just about any that I can think of, matter of fact. And so there is no useful alternative at the moment to replace it. The only alternative is gold. And it's the only other tier one currency, if you will, is not currency, is real money, tier one unit of exchange that's available. And I think more and more as time goes by, all transactions or more transactions, not all, but more transactions will be denominated in gold. And that's as it should be. I mean, it's hard to, you can't inflate gold. And there's only a finite supply so far. And eventually it all comes down to supply and demand. The demand far exceeds the supply. We're getting new gold all the time, but not that much compared to, well, just the increase in world population. You figure those numbers. I mean, every year, just the world population increases by quite a large number, which far exceeds the increase in gold supply. So just by that very fact alone, it tells me that the price of gold has got to keep going up.
Speaking of gold supply,
I'm betting my bippy on gold, and I've already made a prediction that it'll be 10,000 by the end of this year. So we'll see. I damn near nailed it last year, and we'll see if I nail it this year. So.
Speaking of gold supply, before we went live here, you were saying that you're starting up for the ice season here.
Yes, that's correct. I've had people up there for over a month. We spent some time at the end of last summer season, getting ready, and I've had my main man up there with a small crew for over a month. We were supposed to have had a diver in yesterday, and then these little nickel and dime problems pop up. Today, I won't even tell you. It was something minor, but it was enough to keep us out of the water. But my expectation is we'll have a diver in tomorrow and possibly two divers.
Nice.
Tomorrow we'll either debug it with a diver in the water, or we'll do that and blow right on past if everything works right and get straight into production and put a second diver down.
Nice.
So I'm thinking we're going to have a very powerful season. This winter has been way different from other winters. It got really cold early in the game and stayed that way. The offshore ice shelf, the shore fast ice, was about 8 miles from the shore before you got any kind of open water and movement of the sea ice with a current. That broke off a few weeks ago, about 4 miles from the beach. And then everything seaward of that was wafting back and forth with the current. And
Yeah.
but the shorefest ice stayed the way, I mean, it stayed in place. And so
Sweet.
now from the shore out to about 4 miles there where 56 is, it's just flat ice. It's not jumbled up. Normally the ice will break off, blow out to sea, and then come back in several times. And when that happens, the pans overlap and some of them go down and some of them go up. And you end up with a big jumbled mess. And it's hard to, hang on. Ah. Yeah, hey Elaine, I'm busy right now. The girls are okay. I'll catch you later, okay? So Bluetooth hearing aid. My phone goes off and it's just like getting nailed in both eardrums. But yeah, so like I said, this year's different. It was really cold right from the get-go. The ice is down near perfect. From where we're going to be dredging, which is right where we left off last summer. We were on really hot gold last summer. Brian was there. He knows we were doing really well in that area, general area, for about 3 summer seasons, I think it is, right in that same area. And so we're starting out the winter season right where we left off last summer. And that last clean out with Brian and our divers was the best by far and away that we ever got. I think we did 72 hours bottom time, which is a lot to put on the box. Normally I'll clean out after 30 or 40 hours. That time we just kept pushing on through. They put 72 hours on the box, I think it was, and they got 51 ounces. And for an 8-inch suction dredge, diver operated suction dredge, that's good. I don't know if anybody has ever done better with an 8. So that was a hell of a cleanup. That I'll tell you, that just I'm still thinking about that one. That was a good one.
This sounds
So
amazing.
I'm hoping this winter, given the conditions, the condition of the ice is flat. It's only about 3 feet thick, which makes it easy to cut holes, and then since it's flat, it's easy to pull the gear around. I've got some first-class divers lined up and a full slate of topside crew. They'll pre-cut the holes. We finish one, we'll just grab a hold and drag to the next one. And I'm thinking, we're going to kick it out of the ballpark. And I'm knocking on wood when I'm saying that. This is.
Do you have a rough goal that you're hoping to achieve?
Do I have
a rough estimate of what you're hoping to achieve for season target?
Well, I know my best season on the ice, we got 187 ounces.
Nice.
I think we can do better this year. So, I mean, that's what I'm shooting for.
Nice.
How many
So
feet are, how deep are you?
40 feet.
Oh,
And
they're
then
using
right now we're starting out with air, and then in a few days we'll get the nitrox system out there.
Okay.
We'll get nitrox set up. We'll be able to put in 4.5 hour dives. With air, we're going to limit it to 2.5 hours. But I found out recently that nitrox system, it'll work just fine in that cold weather. I was concerned. I'd heard before that the membrane might freeze up and, it may have a problem with cold weather, but I've talked to the people that built it, Air out of California, and they're saying, no, it'll be just fine. The membrane is not going to freeze up. You just got to use some common sense. I'll try to keep it warm overnight. I'll have it in an enclosed sled. But, if I have to, I'll just throw a space heater in there first thing, get everything warmed up, crank it up, and, blow and go.
John R. has got a question in chat. He's wondering if the Discovery Channel is going to be filming the ice season.
No. Up until 2 or 3 weeks ago, they were saying that they were probably going to be there, but then I got the official word 2 or 3 weeks ago. They're saying no. They didn't film in 25 last year, either summer or winter, and both times they were saying, yeah, we're going to do it, and then all of a sudden we're not doing it. And then so now they did the same thing this winter, and they're telling me now that, well, we still have an interest, and we probably going to do it this summer. So we'll see. I don't know if they're going to do it or not, and I don't think they know. I mean, there's a lot of corporate upheaval way up the food chain with Discovery, Warner Brothers. I heard that Netflix was trying to buy them. I don't know. I don't think they know. You know, that's from a hole in the ground, really. It's probably going to come down to the Friday afternoon dart session when they go darts and they kind of figure it out. But fortunately, I'm at a point in my development up there where I can do very well without them. Thank you very much. I'm thankful for the time I was with Discovery because it did let me afford to be at the stage I am now. I would not be here if it hadn't been for the extra money coming in. But contrary to some people's, some of the trolls out there that say, Vernon wouldn't have ever made it up there without the Discovery money. Well, Gary, there've been a few seasons when Discovery wasn't there, and guess what? I'm still here. And if they never come back, I'll still be here. So I've been at it for 15 years, and I have gotten a little bit of experience under my belt. The whole deal is, you're going to make anybody that goes up there is going to make a lot of mistakes. I don't care who you are. So I made my fair share of them, but guess what? I stuck with it. And that's a big part of the game right there is perseverance. You got to have enough stick to it to, stay past the bad parts. And believe me, there's going to be a lot of bad patches.
Oh, yeah.
Got a lot of questions coming in from chat tonight. We got another one asking what your biggest gold take for a year was from Curtis Singer.
Well, that same year that we got 186 or 87 on the ice, we also got the exact same number that summer in the exact same location. So it was, pretty close to 400 for the year. And then this last year that summer session was very good. It would have been twice as good if we hadn't had some delays at the beginning of the season because of equipment and personnel. We would have gotten double the hours and we've gotten double the gold. But we still did pretty good. We were sniffing right around 200. Brian knows the exact same number. He was there. Brian ran the boat for me last summer. But it's, to my estimation, that boat's a 500 ounce a year boat. We can go out there and stay where nobody else can, sleep, wake up, and work. Everybody else, when the weather gets bad, they scoot for shore. Most of them go ashore back into port every day. Often we stay out there for several days at a crack. Sometimes as much as a week we'll stay out there. On average, I'd say we stay out there 3 or 4 or 5 days. Like average 4 days before we come back in for fuel and food and do a cleanup and that sort of thing. But then last year, that last cleanup, like I was saying earlier, Brian kept them out there and kept them going and put 72 hours on that box before we did a clean out and ended up with 51 ounces for a 72-hour cleanup. So I was pretty damn impressed with that. And didn't seem like the box lost any gold. Rule of thumb, you had Keen and they tell you clean the box every day. And my rule of thumb was do it after 30 or 40 hours at the most. But those guys, I wasn't up there. They just blew right on past that and pretty much put double the hours on the box. And it was, the ratio came out to damn near, I think it was like 0.75 an hour. Do the arithmetic. 0.75 an hour is about what that comes out to. And that's pretty damn good. I mean, we all through that area out there, we consistently hit like 2/3 of an ounce an hour. But, I like 3/4 better. I like even an ounce better. But it's hard to do it, with an 8. If you can do 8 an hour and an ounce an hour for, any long period of time and you're a better man than I am. Is all I gotta say.
As a small time prospector, I'm happy if I get half a gram in an hour.
Half a gram
Well-
a day would be nice.
Yeah.
So,
So if
without
somebody
that-
wanted to take their shot at gold mining up in Nome, I noticed a couple days ago you posted on Facebook, you've got 26 Bering Sea Gold mining claims for sale.
Ooh.
Yeah, I've had those claims for quite a long time, and I'm not going to do anything with them. I've
Yeah.
got 56. It's 2 miles from the port. It's 375 acres. That's enough to last me a few lifetimes. So the rest of them, I'm getting rid of them. I got some people interested. You know, maybe they'll sell. Maybe they won't. If they don't sell, I'll hang on to them. Maybe I'll get around to mining them one of these days. But I don't know. I'll be 80 in June, so maybe
Did you
not.
say-
In June, wow.
Did
Yeah,
you say
so-
some of those claims are attached to the beach as well?
All of them are. They're all what they call tidewater claims. They start at the beach. They run out 1,320 feet. That's 1/4 of a nautical mile. Well, actually, it's 1/4 of a statute mile, I think. Whatever it is. And then it runs another 1,320 out into the water. And some of them are not up, and that would be 40 acres. But all the lines east, west, north, and south. And if the beach is most of the beach along that stretch of coastline runs pretty much east and west, but there's some of those claims that kind of cuts a diagonal, so they're not quite 40 acres. And and then I've also got a few 160 acre claims in there, and they're also what do you call them, tidewater claims. And then on the beach side, the claim goes up to the high water mark. I mean, up there's only like a 1.1 foot rise and fall of the tide. So, and then everywhere up there, the beach belongs to someone, either the mining company or one of the native corporations, or in a few areas along there, the beach might belong to the state. And if you can find an area of what we call state land, then you get a little bit more freedom to move. You go and do some beach mining, and nobody's going to be there to mess with you much. But if you get on private property, the natives don't like it when you're over there, it's taking gold off their beach. They get upset about that. And so does the mining company. And there are people who do it. We call them snipers, but it's not the right thing to do. You're not, it's theft if you get right down to it.
We call them claim jumpers down here.
Yeah. So don't want to do that.
Brian kind of made it sound like in some of his videos that there's not a lot of spots where you can beach mine anymore that are public. You gotta know somebody or have a claim.
Yeah, it's not like it was when I first went up there. It was pretty much wide open, and I liked it like that. Nobody cared. There was a whole stretch at West Beach. Nobody really even knew on that land. There was like, the natives on it, the state. Nobody knew, and nobody really cared until the show came along, and then it showed all those beach miners' shacks along there, and the local people got upset about it because they thought it made Nome look bad. I thought it made Nome look good. I mean, it's like, here these guys come up there and they throw some pallets together and throw a tarp over it, and they got a Habitat for Humanity, and then they build themselves a little beach launcher, and they're out there getting gold. I mean, what could be better than that?
Yeah.
But the folks up there, they pitched a fit about it, and next thing you know, after a few years, they came in and ran everybody off and brought bulldozers in there and took down all the shacks. And there's still a few people go down there and pitch a tent and under cover of darkness. But once again, you're subject, you get run off. But then what the heck if you got some gold before they run you off? That's some people's theory about it. But I'm running a bit of a high profile, and I don't want to get crossways with the natives or anybody else around there. So, I don't do that. Not
Fair enough.
I haven't done it a little bit back in the old days.
So now, without you filming, do you find it that you get more time to actually mine and focus on the task at hand? Like, did they waste a lot of your time?
Yeah, the production company, over the years, I've gotten to be friends with a lot of them. Most of them I get along really well with. There are a few screwballs that come through that kind of rub me in the wrong way. But for the most part, they're pretty good guys. And a lot of them are really adventurous. They lead adventurous labs. They don't just do gold shows. They do all kinds of shows. And some of them are like foreign correspondents, war correspondents. Believe me, those guys they're out there. And so I kind of respect what they do. And then, but it is an aggravation. All of them, every day they want me to tell them what my plan for the day is. And I'm a kind of a person, I don't like to plan too far in advance. My overlying plan is to get out there and try to scratch up some damn gold off the bottom of the ocean. And I'll do whatever it takes on any particular day to make that happen. But for their purposes, they need some structure. So they wake me up at 8 o'clock. Hey, Vernon, what's your plan for the day? It's the same as it was yesterday. It's like, Christ, just follow me around and find out. So that gets a little aggravating every now and then, but I realize that's what they got to do, and they got to earn a living too, and and then they give me money. So when I get paid, I don't get too hot and frosty with the guy who's signing the paycheck.
Probably a good policy.
Kermit in Alaska says, hello, everyone. And he's saying, how are you doing, Vern? Good to see you. He said he was just out in his shack panning some of his summer cons.
Yeah. I'm looking here. Is that showing at the bottom? This guy is Curmudgeon AK. That's not the same guy.
That's the Curmudgeon. Or Curmudgeon.
All right, you come in and kind of garbled. Is this who I'm talking to? Curmudgeon AK?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, so how you doing, Vernon? Good to see you, blah, blah, blah. I was just out in my gold shack panning some of my summer cons. Well, that's a good thing to do in the wintertime to keep you going, sit around and pan your cons. That's better than beating your head against the wall, I guess. Healthier for you. So
they're north of
I got to remember that. So maybe sometime when somebody asks me what you're doing, I'll tell them I'm panning my cons.
Yep. Do you have any new equipment you're going to be running this year?
Yep. My old standby is the gold ship. We always make improvement to it every year, but for a long time I've been trying to get a bigger piece of equipment going, either a bottom crawler or this other rig that I'm working on, which will essentially be a barge-mounted trailing arm suction dredge. Is the best description for it, but it's that's what I want to put in the water this coming summer. The bottom crawler thing, I'm kind of over it. I know, bottom crawlers, there's a place for them. There's one that's highly successful up there, but the guy's been doing it with that particular rig for over 30 years, and he's worked out a lot of bugs. But people come in, I've here lately, I don't know how many people have come in with bottom crawlers, and they don't work. You kind of got to know what you're doing, and they cost a lot of money to put them together where they would work. this thing that I'm contemplating on a barge I already own. I've got a thrustmaster to drive it with. I got some pumps and various other things. I can put it together for a reasonable amount of money and then put it out there. And my expectation is it will far exceed the production of the gold ship, probably triple it. So that's what I'm shooting for this coming summer.
That'll be interesting to see.
Well, hopefully, well, my intention is to, do some videos as we're putting the thing together, and so I'll keep you posted.
Oh, I would definitely love to see your progress on that. That sounds like quite the undertaking you're going.
So so now that you're not doing Discovery anymore, Vernon, are you gonna have like some kind of filming on your own? Like Dustin Hurt from Whitewater kind of started his own YouTube series. Are you thinking of doing something like that, or are you just gonna stick with
Yeah,
mine?
I've been talking to Brian about doing that, and, for years. It's another one of those things that's kind of on my list, but I have not pushed through with it. Brian's done really good with his American Gold Prospectors site.
Yeah.
I really respect what he's done with that, and I'd like to get teamed up with him. I was talking to him about it the other day, but I got a YouTube channel, and I think I posted 3 or 4 things on it in the last few years. So I don't know. It seems like a good idea, and there's a potential for making money doing that. But to achieve liftoff, I don't know. I just don't have the incentive or motivation, I guess. I was talking to my daughter about helping me with this just last night. And so if she wants to get involved with it, that might be what it takes. I know Brian. She could work with Brian. Brian liked her. He found a picture of her one time. He didn't even know who it was, but I looked over his bunk there one day, and he had a picture of my daughter taped to his wall. I said, "Where the hell did you get that?" He said, "I found it over there under the bunk." I said, "We know who that is, don't you?" And he didn't know. And I said, "That's my daughter." And so, anyway, I think it would probably help her out if she asked him some questions about how to do it.
Great on.
Dustin made it sound like the worst part about it is the amount of time he's had to spend editing. The nice thing is they're shooting it themselves, so they don't have a Discovery producer saying, "Hey, can you do this again?" or "Can we get it from this angle?" They're just happy with what they get the first time, and so they're 13 episodes in. It's been really good. On their
Well, maybe I'll check it out. I'll get Brian to coach me up on how to find it. I guess it's on YouTube. Maybe I can just go and type in Dustin's name and it'll pop up.
It's risky rewards.
Risky rewards. Yeah, I'll check it out. That sounds interesting. So
It seems like
and Brian's done quite a bit of stuff on the gold ship and posted it on his channel and gotten good responses out of it. And I think there might be a market for that sort of thing. It's like anything else. You got to get into it and just slog away and then build your audience. I mean, I know what it's going to take.
Yeah.
But I only got so much energy. Like I said, I'm an old guy, right? And so I'm fairly comfortable down here in Homer. This is my comfort zone down here, and I have a hard time getting motivated to do anything that's hard. Then I go up to Nome, and that's my discomfort or uncomfort zone. Everything up there is uncomfortable, but it just takes so much damn energy to survive up there. You don't really have much left over to do anything else. So anyway, that's where I'm at with that, guys. I got a feeling that before it's over with, I'll probably get some YouTube stuff
nice.
YouTube stuff going.
Right on.
Well, I'm sure when you do get your YouTube stuff, if you do, we will definitely help support you and share your content out with our community.
Well, I'm sure if you started a YouTube channel, you would be in the money on the first week.
Probably. Yeah.
Okay. Well, now, since you put it that way, maybe I'll
You
do
could
it.
you could
I
keep
mean,
it
because,
as Gold Daddy. I'd subscribe to Gold Daddy on YouTube.
yeah. I mean that's kind of the prime motivator in my world. I mean, if I'm making money, I'm usually happy. Yes. So,
YouTube doesn't pay like they once did. 10 years ago or 5 years ago, even if you had the content and the views, the money was a lot better than it is now. But it's still, if you're up there and people are watching and if you got the ads playing, the revenue's coming in. So
Yeah.
mhm. Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's the way that works.
just don't play any music in the background.
Why not?
If they give all the money to whoever made the music,
Uh,
they're jerks about that.
huh.
You can
you
do
mean
up to
some-
60 seconds in a short form video, and they won't mess with you. I found that out this week.
Okay.
Interesting.
As Ed said, like Risky Rewards has had 13 episodes and they already have 27,000 people subbed to them.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
a
And
big
that was
number.
2 months ago they started that. 27,000 people subscribe already. And you
Well-
only need 1,000 to get in the money, so they're doing it.
You only need 1,000, you said?
1,000 subscribers to get
subscribers.
into the money.
And then a certain amount of watch hours.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess they're doing pretty good. A couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Give them a couple of years and bound to be doing better by then.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and the way Dustin put it was he had to find gold this last season because he didn't have that check from Discovery to fall back on. And
Yeah.
they gave up. I mean, they're still doing the dredging in the creek, but they're doing all their prep work with excavators now.
Uh-huh.
And so they're lowering the creek, and they're doing pretty well. They're just starting to show those guys getting into the gold, and even with a 20-minute dive, they were finding a pretty good amount. But they're just starting to get their rhythm where they're figuring out how much to dig, how much to dredge.
Mm-hmm. Well, I wish him luck. I've never spoken to him, but I used to talk to Fred, and he was, a wealth of information, just a real gentleman, as best I could tell. I always enjoyed talking to him. It was sad when he passed away.
For sure.
So,
Yeah, that was a sad day for the whole. Even as prospectors who just watch the shows, it was pretty hard. He was like one of the original people that we saw on Gold Rush.
Yeah.
yeah.
Dakota Fred. So
Well,
Right.
same thing when John Snobble passed. That was a sad day for the whole community. He was everybody's grandpa.
Yeah, same deal. Seemed like a real good, solid citizen.
For
He
sure.
put up with Parker's bullshit. I would have slapped him upside his fucking head. But anyway,
I love it.
Yeah.
so anyway,
What design changes have you made over the years to improve fine gold retention in heavy surf conditions?
say that last again.
In heavy surf conditions.
I didn't say the whole sentence. I didn't cut the first part of it.
What design changes have you made over the years to improve fine gold retention in heavy surf conditions?
Well, I mean, there's two different questions there. I mean, fine gold recovery. I designed that box that Keen built for me 3 or 4 years ago in collaboration with the Keens and a few other people, but mainly based on my experience with sluice boxes up there. And it's like a typical Keen 8-inch box. They call it 3-stage box, I think. It's 28 inches wide, and it's got an upper course and an under course. And this box of mine is 36 inches wide. and it's 16 feet long, although I'm not using the 4 feet of it right now. I just got it down. It's 12 feet long, but it's designed to be 16 feet. But the space I had to put it in on my boat, 12 feet is all I'm running. And then same thing on the ice. I'm running 12 feet on the ice. But it's a matter of the screens. You got to have the screens the right distance above the ripples, or otherwise the water flow on top of the screens won't take the rocks away. If you got it too close to the screens, to the ripples, then the water flow is going to wash the ripples out. At the front of the box, I use 1/4-inch screen, and that goes for the first 4 feet of the box, and then all the fine stuff drops down, and a lot of it catches on the that platform, for lack of a better word, at the head of the box. And I've got miner's moss and expanded metal there to use. I use all expanded metal. I don't use those Hungarian ripples. I just use expanded metal, but different grades of expanded metal. And then there's that drop down, and then that bottom course, and the above the drop down is 1/4-inch screen. So anything that drops down and goes along that bottom course is 1/4-inch minus. And then after 4 feet, I go to 1/2-inch screen. And then there's a section of 3/4-inch screen. And then there's an open section with some heavy gauge expanded metal. We call that the nugget chip. There's never any nuggets up there, but every now and then you'll catch something that won't drop down through those screens. And so that's pretty well, how I got it set up. Last year, I was going to make some changes to the screen. I ended up raising the screen up too high, and it just didn't work. That's one reason why I got a late start last year. I had a couple of guys who were welders and fabricators.
Yeah.
And I turned them loose on the project. They ended up dragging it out for well over 2 weeks, messing with that damn sluice box. And we got it out there, and it didn't work right. And I came back, and I had to lower the screen some. And they started the same crap. It looked like it was going to take another 2 weeks. And I finally fired their sorry asses and ran them off, and took a hand in it and got it done. And we finally got out there. But the whole thing cost me about 3 weeks. And it was a mess. I should have just left the damn thing the way it was, but the screens had gotten worn out.
Yeah.
And so I had to replace them. But then when we finally did get it going, it worked fine. It still needs to come down a little bit because I was getting rock buildup. As one diver, he put a lot of rocks through the box, through the hose, and when he was diving, we had to have a man topside the entire time, pushing rocks to clear the box. Then my other diver, he never put any big rocks through that wouldn't go through the box, and it was a whole different story. But I need to lower the screen about another 1/4 or maybe 3/8 of an inch, and then it'll be perfect. So anyway, it's a matter of experience. And, trying to figure this crap out, trying to be smarter than the gold. And a big part of it is the sluice box. This new design of sluice box, my take went up at least 30% based on the difference between the old style Keen box, which is designed for coarser gold. And I'm sure it worked. I used them for years. But when I went with this fine gold recovery box, I kid you not, my take went up by about 30%. And I first noticed that we were out there on the ice, we're dredging. I had this one dive team. They took some pans down under the ice on the bottom of the ocean and panned my tailings pile. And they found gold, quite a bit of it. And that's when I said, this is not going to work anymore. I got to do something about that damn sluice box. Rule of thumb up there, everybody knows you blow 25, 30% out the back end of these things, but it was an acceptable loss because of the volume we put through the machine. But after that, I said, no, I got to build a better box that's going to recover fine gold. And this box I'm telling you about, some of the gold there is just microscopic. I don't know microns what it is, but probably 300 microns or less. Some of it is. It's just like talcum powder. Some of it is.
It's like
And
the
so,
stuff that I get out of the Fraser River when I go panning.
yeah. And then as far as in heavy surf, well, no, no, no. No.
So how do you assess
I mean,
the seabed stability before committing divers, especially in areas with overburdened clay layers or buried boulders?
repeat that, please.
How do you assess seabed stability before committing divers to dive in that spot?
Well, we usually just drop a camera and look it over. If it
Okay.
looks like it's good material, we're looking for cobble a lot of times. The best, we look for a sand cobble line. That seems to be the best. A lot of people will avoid sand. And if I think it's going to be heavy sand, if it's 2 or 3 feet of sand, forget it. You burn so much energy getting down past that sand with an 8-inch that, it's a matter of BTUs. You're burning up a lot of BTUs, a lot of calories getting down to where the pay is. So people avoid sand. You can do better with a 10 in sand than you can an 8 by far and away. And so, like when they were scouting around out just the other day, I had them go out with the ice augers and drop camera. And they found a lot of good space areas out there, a lot of good holes out there within 75 or 100 feet from where we left off last year. I just didn't want them to drop down on something that had already been mined. And then the last hole they drilled, they dropped down and they found some cobble with some pretty good sized rocks, but big enough to fit through the nozzle that had marine growth on them, which is indicative of not being mined before. And so, of all the places they drilled probably a dozen holes out there, that spot looked the best. And so that's where we cut our dive holes, and that's where we set up. But that's how we do it. We just look with a camera to start out with. Same thing in the summertime. We'll be cruising around an area. We get someplace where we think might be good. We'll drop the camera and take a look at it. And then that's essentially how we do it. There's another way. There's some friends of mine that use these Lowrance with the side scans. What's it called? Structure side scan. It's goddamn sonar, really. It's like a fish finder, except really, really. You can see the knots on a log if the damn log is on the bottom. It's a high-dollar piece of equipment. I've used it in the past. On the original Wild Ranger, I have one of those. I think it's called Structure Scan. But I ended up not using it that much. I just relied more on the camera than I did on that thing. But I am going to buy another one. I'm kind of talking to a friend of mine that uses one of them. I got 3 good friends that use them, and they're pretty excited about it. I think I'll get another one and just take the time to learn how to use the thing right. So
once you get those dialed in, they're pretty cool for ice fishing, or if you're on the boat, for what it shows you on the bottom and how detailed it is. And
I've got a chart plotter with a good transducer and fish finder type thing, and it's pretty accurate. I think it's a Garmin. It'll give you a good indication of the bottom, but not the detail that you get on one of these Lowrances.
Yeah.
But then, like I said, I got the cameras. So like, what the heck, So
a couple of the underwater vehicle recovery channels I follow use those.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, now too, you can get the ROV, the remote operated vehicle. You can drop that down and drive it all around and take it right down to the bottom. The only thing with that is it's stirring up the silt when it does get to the bottom. So
yeah, I've got a couple of those, and they're shit. I let my guys operate it. They set it down in the damn dirt and then takes off and it screws up the impellers and
Yeah.
more of a pain in the ass. Plus you got current. You got to deal with the umbilical.
Yeah.
I don't like them. So sounds sexy, but you know, I don't like them. I got 2 of them, by the way. So yeah, I don't use them. Maybe it's just me. Maybe other people have better luck with them, but I'm not enthralled with those.
Well, like you said, once you get used to the camera, and I have a camera that I use for ice fishing too, and it's one thing to watch that little blip on the scope when you're ice fishing, but when you can actually see your hook and watch the fish swim up, it's a whole different ball game.
Mhm.
And yeah, although the side scan sonar that will show you when there's changes in the structure when you might want to drop the camera down. So
Yeah. Another thing about that ROV, underwater drone,
yeah,
you don't even know where the damn thing is. Once it gets underwater and you're scooting around down there, where is it? Is it at the back of the boat? Is it left of the boat, right of the boat? Under the ice, you don't know where it is.
true.
Especially under the ice, the umbilical, if you got floats on it, it'll get up and get caught in the ice. If you don't have floats, it's on the bottom. Yep, nah, I don't like them. But anyway, enough about that. To each his own, I guess.
There's a question in chat. Do you have any inland claims?
No, and I don't want any. I don't do inland. I'm all about the ocean. My career was on the ocean. I know the ocean. I'll leave the inland for some other people with a longer lifespan. I mean, I'm kind of running short on time here. I'm not going to go out there and try to learn a whole damn different way of doing things. I'll leave that for other people.
Fair
You
enough.
already told us you're about to turn 80. How is your health?
It's pretty good. I mean, all things considered, it's yeah, pretty good.
Good to hear.
No.
So you don't look 80, so you're doing great.
Yeah.
Well, great enough. It seems like every time I run to the end of my tether, they'll come up with some new procedure that extends my shelf life for a few more years. I had my knees replaced. That's the best thing that ever happened to me. About 4 or 5 years ago, I had both my knees replaced. And I've been dragging those knees around for decades, sometimes in just sheer agony. And so now I don't have any pain and full range of motion. And that was a godsend. And then, there came a time, in the past, when they came up with that crazy little blue pill, seemed like that was right on schedule. And then, various other things just happened to pop up right when I need them.
It's almost as if they were targeting everybody.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, all things considered, I'm doing all right.
Good to hear. Good to hear. We're looking in chat here. I had a couple other questions for you, but every time I'd go to ask you a question, you were just answering them one right after another. Even in chat, you were going through some of the stuff.
So what's the probably most exciting or unexpected thing that happened to you while you were doing your ocean mining so far?
Well, the most exciting thing was when we went out there to try to rescue Yukon John and got caught in that storm and damn near sunk the boat. Brian was with me during that time. That was pretty exciting. Anytime you're inches away from death numerous times, people that watch that show don't realize what we're going through. We're getting hit on the side, in danger of rolling that boat, and in real danger of swapping the engines. And if we'd done that, we'd have just been wallowing around out there like a stuck pig. That boat we went out to rest, John was on. Even after I went out there, that John, wouldn't get off the boat. And when we left him out there, him and this other guy named Turtle, I told him, get off. We'll send a rubber boat over for you. You better bail now, abandon ship, or you're gonna friggin' die. And he said, no, he's gonna hang in there. And so when we left, I left him out there. I said, okay, I'm not gonna kill my people to save your sorry ass. If you don't want to come with us, you're on your own. And when I left, I figured he was gonna die. I really did, and I did not take that lightly. And then as we were peeling on out over the horizon, I heard later that Turtle, who was Yukon John's tender, he asked John, he said, where are those guys going? And he says, they're going back to Nome. And he says, I want to go. But Yukon John had already told me to go. So Turtle was a little bit upset about that. But thank goodness, Sean had a boat in the water that was a lot better suited for going out there and plucking them off. And he wanted me to tow that damn boat in with my boat, which, no, that was no way in hell that was going to happen. If I'd have put a tow line on him, the outside of my boat would have been low in the water, and one of those swells would have just come right over the back, and definitely those engines would have gotten swamped. And we're damn near getting swamped. It was coming 2/3 of the way up on the Cowlings as it was.
Jeez.
So that was probably the most exciting times. And there was that one time when that diver got down. I was a new guy, and he put on his weight belt, and he didn't have shoulder straps over his weight belt. And he got down there, and the damn weight belt slid over his skinny little hips, and he had the umbilical under the weight belt, and the weight of the belt pulled his umbilical and jacked his mask over to the side of his face and filled up with water. And he's down there trying to get the mask off and get untangled, and all I heard was blah, 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 and the camera went dead. And this guy doesn't come up for 3 or 4 minutes, and I thought he was dead. That was another heart stopper. And then come to find out, finally, the dive cameraman chimed in and said, he's under the boat. So he came up under the boat between the hulls, but nobody told me for a few minutes.
Oh.
And I'm thinking, this fucking guy's down there dead on a doornail, and I'm gonna have to pull him up, and this is not gonna be good. But fortunately, he survived. But that was his last dive. He hang on. Yeah, hey Ed, I'll have to call you back. I'll call you back in a few. And then there were some other things also. It's a lot of things similar to that, but those were probably the two. If you call them exciting, I guess they were exciting. They were pretty damn scary. I mean, my whole career of going to sea, I never lost anybody, and I only had one bad injury. Guy broke his leg and the bones stuck out because of some stupidity that happened down on deck. It was my boat, my ship, I should say. I used to be a captain on a tanker. So anyway, but I've had good luck. I've never really had anybody get injured, and I like it that way.
Good to hear.
What safety mistakes do you often see new offshore miners make most often?
Well, a lot of times they'll put the air intake near the exhaust to their pump engine or some other engine, and next thing you know, the guy's sucking carbon monoxide. That's a common one. Another one is letting the generator or the air compressor run out of gasoline. Not putting the gear on properly. Things of that order.
Yeah.
If you could give
So
advice
if someone
to
wanted to start, go ahead, Carl.
Let's say if you could give advice to your younger self starting out mining, what would it be?
Start earlier. I wish I'd have started a long time ago. I mean, I just started 15 years ago. That would have put me about 65 or something like that. I wish I'd have started a long time ago. I've always been all about the gold, and in my seafaring career, I was always, I was going to take part of my payoff and buy gold with it. And then guess what? I didn't do it. So then there came a time, I think it was in 2010, I was coming back from a piloting job over piloting ships, not planes, in Kodiak. And I was in the airport in Anchorage, and I saw some idiot politician talking about something that had to do with finance. And this is utter bullshit. I don't believe it. I changed my flight plans and flew to Nome instead of home to Homer, and went up there and bought a dredge. I said, I'm going to get my own gold because I don't trust these people who are running the economy. They're going to ruin the economy, and the U.S. dollar is going to be worth not even what it's printed on. It's printed on paper. You can't even wipe your ass on it because you can't get traction. So it's going down. Just a matter of time. These idiots in Washington, they don't know how to they don't want to take care of the economy. And all they want to do is just buy votes so that they can stay in power. And so it's just a matter of time. The USD is going down. And the only thing that's going to be left that's worth a damn is gold. And then even that, if we got chaos, madness, mayhem in the streets, even that's not going to do you any good because, hey, you got to have some place to spend it. And if the economy, our civilization comes unwrapped, it doesn't bode well for anyone. Not to be a pessimist, but I mean, that's kind of the way I see it happening. If it goes in gradual progressions and we have a chance long enough of time to adapt to it, it might end up being a good thing. We get on a solid footing yet once again. I mean, there was a time when the U.S. dollar was as good as gold after World War II at the Bretton Woods conference when the dollar was accepted by, you might as well say all the nations of the world, except the ones we were at war with at the time, as the world reserve currency. That's what we were going to deal in. But the dollar was backed by gold. And then, the governments being as they are, and not all of them, not just ours, but all of them, then the government couldn't resist inflating them. And then, especially during Vietnam, they were inflating the hell out of the U.S. dollar. And then, but technically, other governments could redeem their U.S. dollars for gold. And then it was the guy that followed de Gaulle over in France. I can't remember his name right now. He saw that we were financing the Vietnam War through inflation. So he said, here's your U.S. dollars back. I want our gold. He sent a warship that docked in New York Harbor, and they took their gold out of the Federal Reserve, the vaults of the Federal Reserve, and took it back to France. And then Germany said, well, you know what? We want ours back too. And about that time, Nixon says, no, we're not doing that anymore. And he stiffed them, took us off the gold standard. So then after that is when we went on the petrodollar standard. He sent Kissinger over to Saudi Arabia and cut a deal with them saying, if you want to buy our oil, you got to use U.S. dollars. And then in exchange for that, we agreed to protect Saudi Arabia. And so that was all well and good until fairly recently when we pulled out of Afghanistan. We did. Saudi Arabia cut a protection deal with China. So now China is their protector. And they're no longer requiring U.S. dollars to purchase oil. And all the other people in OPEC, the other countries, are falling in line with that also. So it's just a matter of time. If you got the wherewithal, I suggest you lay in some gold and or silver.
A large part of our community does what they call bags of pay dirt. Have you ever thought about producing a line of pay dirt to sell some of your gold?
Yeah, I have. I've thought about it. It just seems to me like it's more of a pain in the ass than it's worth. But I might get around to doing it if I can figure out some way of letting somebody else do all the work. But
Well, I'm
I mean,
actually in the
You can put
process
Brian
of
on that.
starting
We
a
don't mind
pay dirt
buying them
business.
from Brian.
I mean, to trot down, do all that shit, and take a bag of dirt down there to the post office and go through all that bullshit. And what are you gonna make out of it? I mean, of it, the profit margin's kind of thin.
Well,
So
I'll tell you from my experience, I can sell my not pure gold for above spot, like quarter gram pay dirt bags for $55 right now,
mhm.
and they sell quick. And I'm not Vernon. You would have no problem selling your, I don't know what's your Alaskan gold. It's 20 carat, but you get full spot price for it,
Mhm.
and half gram, full gram bags sell quick.
Yeah,
Well, when Brian
It's
listed
called the gold
over
digger.
the summer, I couldn't get one fast enough, and he had them sold
yeah.
out.
I know Brian does it, and he does all right. And he's futzing around
Brian
over there
says
in
it's a
the
pain.
damn.
He says it's a pain in the ass too. Yeah.
Yeah, he's over there in Maine futzing around in winter time. He's got some time up his sleeve, and he does that, and then good on him. Make some money, and like you said, you get better than the spot. And like I said, I've run the numbers many times, and it's more trouble than I personally want to get into.
Yeah.
And
Fair enough.
like if I sold 50 bags a day, and I made what I don't know. I did the arithmetic. I didn't like it.
Now, what
Uh,
about reaching out through, say, a company that does sell pay dirt and asking them to do a bag in your honor? That way, you're getting your gold sold to that company, and they're repping that product with your name. You're getting royalty, as well as your gold being sold.
mhm.
Kind of
Yeah,
like
I guess we could do something like that. Um, and then I got people up there that work with me or for me that I could tell them go out there on the beach and get some red ruby sand, dry it out, get some bags, and send it off in the mail when people. I could do it myself.
Right.
But and maybe I will one of these days. But right now it just seems like it's
Sounds like you
kind
need to
of
hire someone to start your YouTube channel and sell some merch for you.
yeah. Yeah. When I do that, maybe I'll do that. Put it in my merch line if the time is right. It'd be easy enough. I know where there's plenty of ruby sand that's got gold in it. Plus, you add something to it, and then you sell them guaranteed at least a gram of gold in the bag, and then you put in a gram, and then plus what's in the ruby sand. They'll be doing all right. And then wait, I just take turn my gold into dollars. I'd rather have to go. That's the other part.
I agree.
I don't mind
I
spending
agree with
money.
Brian.
I don't mind spending money. Plastic, it's just like it doesn't even. I can't even relate to it. It's just I do it. But to turn loose of my gold, it really hurts me deeply. I only do it when I have to buy more mining equipment. So
When I do my pay dirt bags, I only throw the little gold in the pay dirt bags. All the pickers and flakes stay in the pile.
yeah, I mean, I'll take your advice. I'll probably do it. Once I get this YouTube thing going, I'll
Swamp
probably.
Dog brings up a very good point. What's the hit you're taking on from the refiners?
I'm sorry. What's the what now?
From the refiners that you sell your gold to when you do sell your gold, what's the going rate that you get from them? Is it like
Well,
75 or 85?
Well, no, I mean, they pay me on the gold content. I mean, the gold up there runs between 88 and 89% pure. Like last time, I think it was the assay was like 88.65% pure. Then you got about 11% silver and about 1% approximately, a smidgen of platinum. So, and then this outfit I deal with, they pay me for the silver too, but that's not much. I don't even pay attention to that, but they do give me a little bit for the silver. But and I think that's about 20. I forgot what carat it is, 22 or something like that. Oh, 20. You guys look it up. I can't remember if it's 20 or 22 carat. But
Somewhere there.
but then when you turn it into the gold buyer, if there was no melt loss, in other words, if there was no dirt in it, then that would be the percentages: 88 to 89% pure gold, 11% silver, and 1% platinum. But there's always what they call melt loss. There's some dirt in there. There's some black sand. There's some other crap.
Always.
When they melt it, it comes out as slag, and then you know that's going to take away a percent or two of the weight. You know the people I sell to, I mean, they give me, you know, it's that's fair. I mean, I'm happy with that. If I processed it some kind of way, if I turned it into pay dirt, or if I made some jewelry out of it, which I may do one of these days. I made a Discovery made a joke about me making some Vernon coins with my profile on it, and I've actually been thinking about doing something like that, making some kind of jewelry out of it, and then I really could sell it for more. I could even get something using like a Spanish doubloon or pieces of 8 type motif. I got some Delft sand, and I've got crucibles and everything I need to do to make that album. I just haven't gotten around to it.
One thing to consider is when you're selling pay dirt, you can charge 24 karat spot price, even though the gold is not 24 karat.
Yeah. Plus shipping, so you come out ahead with no melt loss.
Mm-hmm.
That gives you a little bit more of a profit margin. It's something I'm considering because I'm starting up a pay dirt business myself.
Yeah. I understand what you're talking about. I mean,
The deal that I have worked out, a mine in BC is willing to provide me 89% pure gold at 91% of spot price.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can flip that at 24 karat price, dish it out by the gram, and be able to make a profit margin of at least $1,000 per ounce.
Huh.
Right.
Yeah, I don't quite understand that. 1,000 an ounce. That'd be like you making. Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
when you consider the 9% that you're making on each ounce, because you're selling it for spot price,
Right.
even though it's under spot, you're able to achieve that $1,000 profit.
Well,
gives
yeah,
you
but
that little bit of a margin.
9% of 5,000 is only like about 500.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
So I mean, you know, an ounce, based on what you're saying, if an ounce of pure gold was 5,000, an ounce of 90% gold would be 10% less than that. So, you know, 4,500. So, yeah, you make 500 an ounce on that. So,
I agree with that math.
mm-hmm. But anyway, yeah, Brian, he does pretty good with that sort of thing. And, you know, and he uses the gold that he gets off the gold ship. And he gives a good count for, you know, the people that buy from him, they get a good count. And that's a good thing. And a lot of people, you know, they enjoy it. The people that buy from him, you know, they like the pan, and you know, so he's providing a service to the community and making a little money in the process. So what could go wrong with that? And same with you. I guess you're doing the same.
There's a large part of the community that can't get out to the creeks and can't get out to go panning in any location, so they rely on what is pay dirt companies for what they call mailbox mining.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we get our gold fix doing it that way.
Uh-huh.
Right.
There's a lot of really popular YouTube channels where guys are just panning out other people's pay dirts, and then at the end of the month they take all their gold and they sell their own pay dirt bags, which is just yours and everyone else's gold, and then they take that money and buy more pay dirts and do it all over again, and they're getting the views from YouTube. Oh,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
One of the channels that I follow, Miller Prospecting, he's one of the top reviewers on YouTube. And he's reviewed almost every pay dirt on the market. He keeps a running tab of their score and the quality of their material, and the return of investment.
We could switch gears a little bit here. Outside of mining, what do you enjoy doing in Homer? Are there any hobbies or anything you do to unwind? Or
Generally, I just hang out here at the house. I don't go out much, to tell you the truth about it. I go fishing with a buddy of mine every now and then, but I don't really even give a shit about fishing. I'm into gold mining. If I'm here, a lot of times I'm doing paperwork or doing something that relates to gold. One thing I do is I kind of enjoy trolling the trolls on Facebook, which is an idiotic thing to do. I mean, arguing with random strangers about politics. Somehow or another, I kind of get a kick out of it. Like, shame on me. I shouldn't be doing that, but my wife, she goes over. She just was over in the Philippines for a couple of months, and wanted me to go over there with her. And I didn't want to do it. I just stay home. So in days to come, I got some things going on, but in days to come, I'm going to try to do a little bit of traveling. But I don't really enjoy traveling that much. I traveled my entire life. I was on ships in constant motion for decades and decades and decades. I got about 30 years of sea time, actual time on friggin' ships on top of the ocean, going places. And I kind of just enjoy staying home for a change. So, I keep myself entertained around here. And, I watch movies, I do YouTube stuff, and I do a lot of thinking, believe it or not. So, for what it's worth.
Any TV shows or podcasts that you prefer to watch?
Say again?
Any TV shows or podcasts that are in your favorites list?
Well, I watch, Sean Ryan, Carlson, Nick Fuentes a little bit here lately. He's an interesting character. Various people like that like everybody else watches, I guess, and then just random people that pop up. And then as far as like the gold mining end of it, I just, last night I got on a string. I saw one that Discovery UK had posted on me that I didn't know was on there. And it was, pretty long episode. I forgot how long it was, but I sat there and watched that. It kind of surprised the shit out of me it was on there. And then, things like that. I don't usually watch, like, I haven't even finished watching the last year's episodes of Bering Sea Gold. There are 2 episodes I haven't watched yet. So, and then I missed a lot of them down through the years. So maybe one of these days I'll go back and kind of refresh myself on all that. No, I won't. I'm not going to do it.
So this American Gold Prospector guy in chat wants to know if Vernon hangs out with Steve Rydell. Are they best friends?
No. No. His son is a real good friend of mine, Paul. Yeah. He just put an addition on my cabin here. And they lived 2 houses down from me here on the bluff overlooking Kachemak Bay. And I've been knowing him since he was, 15, I guess. And Emily, she lived down there, and she used to spend more time over here with my daughters than she did at her house. And then, but Steve and I, nah, we're not seeing things that, I did run into him down at his son's place a couple of weeks ago, and he was fairly cordial, Yeah. Since I was on his property, his son lives on his property. Since I was on his property, I had to be cordial back, but it hurt me. So, yeah.
Well, Steve's another good friend of the show, and we've asked this question both ways. I think Brian's just trying to stir the pot a little bit because he knows better. But
Speaking of stirring the pot there, Carl, we've been going an hour and 20 minutes. I'm sure some people's eyes are floating in the back of their heads. So, bathroom break and run the commercial.
Is there a commercial to run? Because I don't know.
Yes, sir. There is.
Awesome.
Yep.
We'll be back in a few short seconds here, guys.
Okay.
Oh, Red Dirt Nation, rise and stand from the treasures deep in the soil's hand. A family of brothers, hand in hand. This is our home. This is our land. The river sang as we toiled away. Their whispers kept the fears at bay. Fields of gold from the seeds we sowed, a testament to the lives we hold. Though the wind may howl, the earth may quake, but roots run deep with every stake. The blood, the sweat, the laughter too. This red dirt binds me and you. Oh, Red Dirt Nation, rising stand.
Just like that.
And we're back.
Almost perfect timing. Has everybody seen my new bucket that Michelle, the bucket lady, made for me? Got the Red Dirt Nation on one side. Michelle Milano, she was in chat earlier, protoughDecals.com. You can email them and get yourself your own bucket. That one's mine.
Maybe after I move.
Yeah.
The wrong place. Oh,
You're going to be just about changing addresses now, aren't you there, Nick?
About 3 more weeks, yeah. Moving to the desert should be fun. But enough about me. Vern, if you could take a break from Bering Sea Gold and go vacation anywhere, where would you go?
I can. I mean, what do you mean if I can? I can. But I don't know. I was going to go down to Florida. A friend of mine from Nome, a miner, he's got a resort down there near Tampa called on Treasure Island called Black Pearl Resort. It's kind of a South Sea style, old school type resort, nothing plastic fantastic. I think it'd be relaxing to go down there and hang out. He's got some sailboats and swimming pool, and I wouldn't mind going down there. And I'm from that part of the country, southwest Georgia and Carolinas and Florida, southeastern part of the country is where I'm from. So I was going to do that, but then things just kind of didn't work out. But that's about the only thing. I was maybe go to the Philippines with my wife, but then again, I don't really have a desire to do that either. I could go to Hawaii. You can jump on a plane, be in Hawaii in 4 hours. And then Hawaii sucks anymore. I used to live over there. I spent 7 years over there. And last time I went there, it was just a madhouse. Just too friggin' many people. I might go back over to the Big Island. There is a flight from Anchorage to the Big Island. I think it's probably still halfway civilized over there. I was over there probably 10 years ago. I always did like the Big Island. I like the people over there better than the ones in Honolulu. So the people over there, they're kind of like fishermen and rancher type people, the locals I'm talking about. And then I used to work over there for Hawaiian tugging barges. I ran around on tugging barges in our island quite a bit, and lived there for 7 years back in the 70s. So I can picture going back over there, but not Honolulu and not Maui. I'd go to the Big Island.
Okay. What about if you were to go looking for gold somewhere? Where would it be, aside from the Bering Sea, where would be the one place you want to go get some gold from?
Um, Nowhere. I mean,
Nowhere?
we got more gold in Nome than you got any place else. I mean, it's the biggest known deposit of marine placer gold on the planet. There's no place else that even comes close. There's no place that I used to do some offshore mining similar to what we do there in Nome down in Tierra del Fuego, but they got a 20, 25-foot rise and fall of the tide, and it makes it difficult to do. At one time, I was thinking about going down there and scooting around, but I talked myself out of it. If I was going to travel around and see how other people do it, I'd like to go to Mongolia and see how those Mongolian ninja miners do it. Over in the Philippines, they got a very interesting operation where they just dig holes down in the rice paddies that go down 20 or 30 feet, stick a garden hose attached to a piece of crap old compressor in their mouth, and go down and dredge for gold. And they might get a little tiny little smidgen in an entire day. There's some
Wow.
other places like that where I wouldn't mind going and see how other people do it. But as far as me going there and taking a stab at it, that's not going to happen. I'm quite happy with what I've got. I got 375 choice acres with my own damn raw gold bank on the bottom of the Bering Sea. That there's nothing better.
It's what a lot of us small timers dream to aspire to one day.
For sure.
Well, I mean, that's just, you know, I was paying attention and I knew about that lease sale, and I went there and I bid on it, and I bid on out of 11 claims for sale at the lease sale. I bid on 8 of them and got all of them. And then um, it's kind of a long story, but I kept that one. I kept 56. I let some of them go back to the state, and I sold 1 or 2 and made a little bit of a profit on it. So, and it's a matter of public record. I got that claim for $50,000. So, I mean, I paid for that damn near the first time we went out. And that's why I'll never say anything bad again about Alaska. I mean, it was a godsend. It was the smartest move I ever made. Hardly anybody even bid on those claims. It was a sealed bid. And, you know, so there you go. It was,
An opportunity.
you know, it was a good move. I mean, been a lot of days, just in a day, that we made 50,000 in gold. Well, no, not really. I'd be close to it, close to it. Been a lot of cleanouts when we made more than 50. I'll put it that way. There've been a few days when we've come close to hitting 10 ounces a day, but I can't really nail one particular day when we've made 10 ounces in one day. At 5,000 an ounce, you'd have to hit better. You'd have to hit 12 ounces at 5,000 an ounce, and it's placer gold. I don't think we've ever hit 12 ounces in one day, but we're in sniffing distance. So
You've said that your gold ship is pretty efficient on fuel. Your dredge runs pretty efficient on fuel as well, or
you're coming in kind of weak. Something about the
sorry.
gold ship being
I think I
efficient.
might be on the wrong microphone. Sorry about that. But the gold ship and the dredge, are they pretty efficient on fuel then, or
Fuel?
yeah?
Well, I mean, I'm running twin Honda 225 outboards, but we don't have very far to run.
Okay.
So the outboard fuel is, it's not that big of a deal. And then as far as our engine, I'm running a 45 horse diesel,
Oh.
and it uses, it's hard to quantify, best I can tell, probably about 3 gallons an hour. Then we got a heater, a water heater for the dive water. I'm probably burning 5 gallons of diesel per hour. And then we got generators, uh, so counting the generators, at the high end, I'd be burning gas and diesel on average somewhere around 6 or 7 gallons an hour. So, and fuel is expensive up there.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I'm thinking it's still $6.50 a gallon for diesel and damn near that much for um, gas. So if it's selling, total fuel cost could be $50 an hour. So, but when you own good gold, that's not that much.
Yeah.
Balances out. Oh, whoa, excuse me. I'm running on fumes today.
I'm going through my list of questions. We've covered just about all of them.
Well, there was somebody that popped up on the screen. What's the biggest nugget? We've gotten a few nuggets up there, but there's no nuggets to speak of in offshore Nome. It's mostly fine gold. And, we get some pickers like crumbled up corn flakes. Sometimes you get something big as the end of your finger, and every now and then you'll get something that'll get people excited. But it's mostly fine gold. Okay. So, yeah. It's not about the nuggets up there. It's just, pickers. And I mean, some of the pickers are pretty nice, but, it's not, not many nuggets.
Well, there's more flour gold in the world than there is nuggets. So
Yep.
flour gold's got to add up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that gold, I mean, this source gold, the places, it comes down the streams and creeks, and a lot of it probably is generated through cracks and fissures in the Earth's crust out in the water. But once it gets out in the ocean, it's going to waft back and forth with the current and with the tides and with the wave action and whatnot. And it grinds it down just like it does seashells and makes it into sand on the beach. Same thing happens with the gold. And it really finally it gets ground down so fine and it's like colloidal gold. So that's and there's some areas there along the coast where the gold is heavier than others, which kind of indicates that you're closer to some kind of a source. Like out at Sledge Island, I got some claims around Sledge. There's some geological reports say that in these surveys that they did back in the 60s, I think it was, that they found the heaviest gold and the most gold out around Sledge Island. But it's tough conditions out there. A lot of current, a lot of other, it's difficult. But that's why we don't have many nuggets.
Oh, that makes sense. Water is powerful. I mean, it destroys it in the streams. I can't imagine how much all the extra water and the movement and the time that it spends out in the ocean does at least drastically amount to it. That makes sense.
By the way, speaking of colloidal gold, I just ordered a big jug of it the other day. I heard a long time ago, I think Ron Paul, not Rand. He's an advocate of colloidal gold, and there was something on YouTube a long time ago about he was saying it's supposed to increase your intelligence by 15 IQ points. So, and it's supposed to have some medicinal effects in addition to that. I've got a lot of faith in colloidal silver, and I've used that somewhat over the years, but I thought I'd try this colloidal gold and see if it makes me any smarter. So I'll let you know the results of that.
Cool.
Hey, worst case, if they ever cremate you when you die, they'll be able to recover some gold out of your system.
Yeah, they can pan the ashes.
The ashes, yes. Put you in a big forge. So I guess my last question I have for you is what inspired you to change your career from being a large ship captain to going and being a dredge captain?
Well, I didn't change. I was doing both up until I retired from piloting ships about
Gotcha.
3 years ago, I think it was, or whatever it was, 3 or 4 years ago. But I would go mining up in Nome, and as soon as I finished that, I I would hang on a minute. Somebody's.
Yep.
Hey, I got to call you back. I'm doing a podcast. So, yeah, I was doing like 3 jobs.
Wow.
You know, I'd go mining up there, and I'd come down here, and sometime the day I would touch down, I'd have to go and climb up the side of the ship and pilot a ship to Anchorage or someplace.
Oh, wow.
And then, you know, the TV thing on top of that. I was like burning the candle at both ends, believe me.
Yeah.
But for a long time, I was supporting my mining habit with the money I made from piloting, essentially. And then, but now I quit. I quit piloting. Retire? You call it retire? I just fucking quit. There's no retiring to it. You just, you know. So I quit that 22, I think it was. And what a relief that was. You know, I'm on the bluff overlooking Gatchamac Bay. I see those ships out there at anchor in the wintertime. And I'm thinking, damn, I'm glad I don't have to go out there and climb up the side of that damn ship and take that son of a bitch to Anchorage or Nikiski in the wee hours of the morning. Yeah, I don't miss that at all. I mean, I love the ship handling part, but there was a lot of politics involved. And then, you know, climbing up and down those ladders, you got to, after a certain point, it gets really dangerous. So anyway, I quit while I was still ahead. So,
Wow.
So,
Yeah, I mean, everybody needs to slow down eventually. It's good for all of us to take a break. Oh man, what are we coming up on here?
I can't see it online.
Yeah,
you know,
you
what
guys have
I was
done
just
a great job.
what I was just talking about, you know, I told you I had like 3 jobs. I went to bullshit. And that's why I got absolutely no empathy or sympathy or anything else for these assholes that are just sitting back on their dead ass waiting for a check in the mail. They could starve to death. I don't care. I tell you, I flat don't care. You know, I know what I had to go through, and it wasn't because somebody was forcing me with a gun. It's just that was what was in me. And that's why I am where I am today, because I put in the time and the hard work. I can't even begin to tell you how many damn courses I had to go through, how many tests I had to pass, all of that to get where I am today. And then these guys that got their hand out, want a free ride. I'm not going to use any profanity here, but let me put it this way. They go straight to hell as far as I'm concerned.
There's I can relate to that for sure. There's a lot of entitled people in the world, and it's just get out there and go for what's yours.
I wish the checks would stop flowing. And if they starve to death, so be it. They deserve it. You know, I mean, the percentage of people in this country who are on food stamps and welfare of one form or another, it's going to break the country. It really will. The welfare fraud, that's not including, I mean, the fraud is above and beyond the ones who are somewhat legitimately entitled to be on it. And even most of those shouldn't be on it. If you're an able-bodied person, you should not be on welfare of any form or fashion. It's just, that's the way it ought to be. If you don't work, you don't eat. So I'm glad right now what they're uncovering with all this welfare fraud. I mean, I hope they just take it to the bank. I mean, it's time it got cut out. And if it doesn't, this country's not going to last. Well, no. Somebody told me there was the $3.4 trillion in welfare benefits paid out every year in this country. I don't know if they're counting Social Security, which is not a welfare benefit, by the way.
No, not at all.
They forced people to pay into that bullshit Ponzi scheme, and so you're entitled to it. But a lot of the rest of them, most of them, you're not entitled to it, even though they call it an entitlement. So, but that 3.4, I got to investigate that a little bit more. But I heard the other night that $3.4 trillion a year goes to welfare benefits in this country. So that's just, a shame and a disgrace. I know we're going off topic. This is getting away from gold mining. Getting kind of political, So I don't want.
It's getting to the point at the end of the night.
Yeah, I think most gold miners are kind of that same mind. I mean, they're independent thinkers from what I've seen, and believe in individuality and getting out there and getting some gold. So that's been my experience with gold miners so far.
Yeah, most of us got the same idea. Got the same.
Definitely a good community to be a part of at any level.
Absolutely.
And it's one of the few ones where if somebody around you does well, everybody's happy. Like if you found good gold, I'm happy you found good gold. If I find good gold, you're happy I found good gold. Not all that fucker over there found more gold than me. It seems like everybody's always lifting everybody up. Unless I'm finding gold on your claim, then I could see you having a problem there.
Yeah, don't come over here and find good gold on my claim and then brag about it.
Or in your tailings.
Or in your tailings. God, that'd be a great insult. Oh, jeez. Well,
You ever, I suppose, no, you didn't do any inland. I was just ask if you'd ever been to Arizona at all, and done any gold stuff there. But no water in Arizona, so I'm guessing not.
No.
I'm going there next week on
Nome,
vacation, so.
Yeah, Nome's the only place. My daughter's down in Arizona, and I've been through it many times, but I never really stopped and spent much time there. Is that where the Grand Canyon is?
Correct, yes.
it is.
Yeah, I went there one time and it was closed.
How do you close a canyon?
Was it 2020?
I don't know. They got there and the damn sign said it's closed. Who knows? I said, okay. I guess I'll try it again some other time.
Wow.
I was wondering the same thing. How they close that friggin' canyon?
Yeah, we're gonna do the National Lampoon's Grand Canyon on the way back. We're gonna hop out of the car, take the picture, and continue on the journey home. But we're driving out there. We've got so many days to gold mine, then we're moving with so many more days to gold mine, and then the Grand Canyon is just a blip on the ride home.
Mm. Well, I'd like to get into that sucker. You're talking about doing some landmine. If they tell me losing the Grand Canyon, I might consider it, but I don't think they let you do that there.
Nope.
Probably not. No.
All the good places are protected.
Can't tell you how many times I've wanted to go look for cool rocks and gold in Yellowstone National Park, but I know that's a big no-no.
Same thing with the boundary waters in Minnesota, Canada up here. I mean, they said there's some of them creeks you can see gold in the bottom of the creek, but you can't even dig with a spoon. They would throw you in prison.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a shame, I mean, like California was, pretty much founded. I mean, the 49ers kind of put the place on the map, and now you can't mine there. You can't do anything else there either, as far as I know. I go to California every now and then. I used to have to go down and do some TV stuff, and I was there. I think it was last year I was there. I forgot what I was doing there. But went driving around, came up the Coast Highway. Me and my daughter. Used to be a great drive. Now I went way the hell up that Coast Highway, and then the road was closed. I was like, what the hell? I must have missed a sign saying the road was closed. I had to backtrack and go back 65 miles and spend a night in a motel and then jump over to that other highway that's a little bit inland. But I guess they had some kind of a landslide that closed the highway like 5 years ago. Instead of opening the damn Coast Highway, I think it's one, they spent like $1 zillion billion on that damn railroad that goes nowhere. which doesn't make any damn sense. So, and then I got up to San Francisco and went driving around places I used to hang out there. I was, believe it or not, I was in San Francisco during the Summer of Love. I went there first time in the summer of '66 and then '67, and then lived in the Bay Area for a few years back during, the hippie days. And believe it or not, I used to have hair down to about, my shoulder blades back when.
Really?
Back when it would do me some good,
Me too. I used to have hair down to the middle of my back when I was in my
me
mid
too.
20s.
I've still got some. Not much on top. It's hiding in the back.
But I found out, if you don't have hair, if you got gold, it works just as good.
That's right.
Yeah.
And a strong personality and a good humor.
Well, Vernon, we thank you so much for joining us again. I think this is your third time now.
Yeah, my pleasure.
That's
Next
right.
time you guys give me a heads up. I mean, Brian called me and told me 20 minutes to showtime. It's like, you guys call me the day before, please.
Oh,
I mean,
somebody sent you a message earlier. It's our
Yeah,
apologies.
Travis,
you probably,
said he had
maybe you
messaged
did.
you.
Maybe I just didn't see it, but call me on the phone or something, or tell Brian to shake me out of the rack and
Give you a shake.
I'll be ready for you. But, I'm glad I made it. I enjoyed
Yeah,
it.
appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Always a pleasure,
Thanks, Vernon.
Vernon.
We appreciate you
All
as
right.
always. Well,
We appreciate all of you guys in the chat for hanging out and watching, and all of you guys that are watching this on the replay tomorrow.
no,
Each and every
thanks,
one of you.
everybody.
Click that like button, subscribe.
Ooh, I forgot to hit the like button.
And hopefully
Yeah.
everybody has some heavy pans.
Yep.
And sleuth boxes full of gold.
That's
Heavy
right.
pens, let's gold.
And
Oh,
all you folks out there in the Red Dirt Nation, good gold and good luck.
If you want to hang out in the back for a minute, we'll have some fun backstage after we get this show ended off. One of you guys got the button? Oh, there we go. I'm getting it. But thank you again, everyone. Have a great night.